This is TeresaYGreen with Slow Path Wellness, and this is our very first Wellness Wednesday. I've been doing Mindful Monday for a while now, and Mindful Monday focuses on training your nervous system using mindfulness meditation or different ways of looking at the world to try to help your system be more in the parasympathetic nervous system response, which is also known as rest and digest, and spending less time in the sympathetic nervous system response, which is the fight or flight. Wellness Wednesday is a little more about the mechanics of how you are healthy, how your different body systems work together. And it highlights the things that I do here at Slow Path Wellness: acupuncture, Chinese herbal medicine, health coaching, and functional medicine coaching. So today I wanted to give you an overview of how I look at health from Slow Path Wellness, and also how most holistic, natural, integrative, functional medicine people look at health, and as a way for you to look at how you look at your health and some of the things that you can do for yourself or seek help from a practitioner for to be able to be at your very best. So one of the very, very basic things about any form of natural healing, natural health, should be anyway, I believe, that you are unique. So if you come in and you have a specific health problem, say migraines or IBS or something like that, the treatment for you will not look exactly like the treatment for someone else. There may be a lot of overlap, there may be a lot of similarities, but what works for you at the best treatment for you will not be necessarily and should not be exactly the same as what works for someone else, because you are a unique person. And while you may come in with a symptom like migraines, a symptom like lupus, a symptom like IBS, a symptom like lichen sclerosis, if you come in with something like that, you also have everything else going on in your life. So for you, stress may be a trigger for your symptoms. For someone else, tomatoes might be a trigger for the symptoms. For someone else, a long time ago history of exposure to trauma might be the trigger for the symptom, or a long time history of being exposed to some kind of toxin because you worked in a environment where there was like pesticides or something like that. And if you haven't taken the time to do a really good intake, a really good consultation, either in your own mind or with a practitioner, those kinds of things get lost. And that's when you do the treatment that's the same as everyone else's, and it doesn't work quite right for you. So the first major thing is that you are unique. And so any treatment you do, whether it's something you put together yourself or something you get from a healthcare practitioner of any kind, whether that's a massage therapist, licensed acupuncturist, health coach, MD, specialist, whatever, should work with what is actually going on in your specific body at that specific time. The second thing that is pretty commonly understood among most holistic practitioners is that each system of your body does not operate in a vacuum. They all work together. Now, Chinese medicine, I like to say we've been talking about this for thousands of years. So when I did my training in functional medicine, I was very frustrated because a lot of times they would talk about it as this new paradigm for looking at health. And I would actually yell back at the tape I was listening to or the video I was watching and say, no, this is not a new paradigm. This is actually the oldest paradigm of healthcare out there. It is just new for the MDs and the nurse practitioners and all of the modern medical practitioners. They are now adopting it and thinking of it as new, but it's actually very, very old. So if you have a problem in one system of your body, let's say you have high cholesterol. So we think of that primarily as a vascular issue or a heart issue, or maybe even sometimes as a mental issue as far as like the problems we know with atherosclerosis and how that can be related to dementia. But it's actually a lot of other things too. It's very, very, very strongly a digestive issue. If your digestive system isn't working properly, you're much more likely to end up having higher cholesterol because your body uses the raw materials that it has. Either it has the wrong raw materials to use, which does that, or it has the right raw materials but doesn't know how to use them properly, and so then you end up with that problem. Sometimes it can be a vitamin deficiency or something like that, which is still a digestive issue. Also matters how your nervous system, your threat response is working, because we now know that if you are making a lot of cortisol, or if you stay in a fight or flight sympathetic nervous system response, a lot of the time, that you're much more likely to make chemicals in your body that will make you likely to create cholesterol when you don't really need to. Also, any other health problem. They talk about the cancer personality, which is someone who feels very powerless, has a lot of frustration, a lot of problems with not feeling like they're able to make a difference in their life, and that kind of depressed, sad personality, which as a cancer survivor, I will tell you, I understand is not everyone by any stretch of the imagination, but they do notice that people with that personality, their cancer risk goes up. Migraines, same thing. Migraines, for some people, it can be a result of stress. Some people, it can be a result of hormonal issues. For some people, it can be a result of specific foods that bother them. For some people, it can be a specific exposure. Like some people get migraines when there is an artificial scent near them. Someone uses air spray freshener and they get sick. So if you're treating it as a migraine and you're not looking at those other factors, you're missing what's going on inside that specific person's body, whether it's an issue of stress response or, again, digestion, because sometimes food things can trigger it, or food things can set your body up so that other things trigger it. So the second principle is that your body is a system, and each one of these systems works together. So when one system has a problem, all the other systems may develop problems or may need to be treated in order to help the one system that is kind of acting out with the problem. The third thing that in some cases I haven't heard being quite as present in a lot of holistic things, but is still most, at least the people that I read or I listen to, that most people value, is the idea of self-compassion and self-care. The idea that if you learn to care about yourself enough to do the things that take care of you day by day by day, that your health outcomes will be better. Now, I could also have stated this as lifestyle factors make a difference in your health, which is something that just about every holistic practitioner in existence would say is true. But I think it's very important to tie that idea to the idea of self-compassion and self-care, not in a you should be eating more vegetables and you are bad because you had a piece of pizza today, but in the idea of I care about myself as a person, and because I care about myself as a person, I am incorporating more vegetables into my diet while I also occasionally enjoy something that like a piece of pizza, because I want to take care of this person, this body that I inhabit, and I want to be able to have a healthy, happy life so that I can feel peaceful and good and be able to share what I have with other people. So self-care and self-compassion is what we're going to end with today as the final part of sort of a broad overview of what makes holistic medicine work. So this was our first Wellness Wednesday. I will be back with more tips. Sometimes they will be ailment specific. Sometimes they will be body system specific. Sometimes they'll be general like this. Sometimes they will be based primarily in Chinese medicine, when we'll be talking about how the different seasons interact with their body, or how specific kinds of eating patterns or kinds of stress management interact with things. And if you would like a specific thing addressed, you can either mention it in the comments here on this video, or you can go to my website, Slow Past Wellness, and there's a contact page, and you can fill out what you would be interested in hearing more about for a Wellness Wednesday. Thank you for being here today, and I look forward to talking to you next week.